this holiday weekend. We're proud to present their most memorable appearances.
I took his hand and put it.
Oh my God!
And bringing it all to you is a man of razor-sharp wit. A man who knows funny. His mother says so.
Double guns, motherfucker.
This is a very Chipperson Thanksgiving.
What's that?
Here's your host, Lyle Chip Chipperson.
Hey, how you doing? It's Chip. And I'm hosting this big Thanksgiving thing. We're gonna joke around or something. And we got it's called the Chipperson Thanksgiving. I remember when I was a kid, we would have Thanksgiving, and my mother would say, "Now go outside, Chipper. Mama's gonna get some special stuffing." And then Lamar would always sit there and eat sweet potato pie. And then he'd go into her room, and she would always say that's when Lamar was gonna give her the special stuffing. My mother always put raisins in the stuffing. She's a very Rubenesque woman. I have to introduce the segments. This is Amy Schumer. How come her name's not Amy Bootmer? And this is when she was telling a story about being drunk. And she did something with a cab driver that was sexual in nature. My mother doesn't like Amy Schumer. She says, Chipper, don't ever date a girl like that. She's a fucking whore.
A very Chipperson Thanksgiving continues.
This is another guy. He actually likes my stuff a lot. He always says, Chipper, you're so funny. Chipper, how come you're not doing bigger arenas and stuff? This is Chris Rock. How come his name is not Chris Pebble or something? And he was talking about working at the Comedy Cellar, and he's got a movie called 2 Days in New York. But I'm doing a movie, it's called 3 Nights in New York. And performing overseas and living without porn and stuff. That's what he was talking about. I don't give a fuck.
A very Chipperson Thanksgiving continues on the Opie Anthony channel.
Segment 3, the Chipperson Thanksgiving. And this one's with Bob Kelly and Bob Saget, 2 Bobs. One's fat and one's not. And Bob Kelly introduces us to Magic Bob. Hey, how come you don't make your big stomach disappear? Fucking cocksucker. Magic Bob performs, and then Bob Saget, he's not the fat Bob. Let's hit it.
A very Chipperson Thanksgiving continues. Here's your host, Lyle Chip Chipperson.
Segment 4. Will Ferrell's gonna join us with Amy Schumer. Will Ferrell. I don't know, Will Ferrell what? Fucking cracking everybody up. The guys are gonna talk to Will about his comedy career and working on Snow and making movies. What is Snow?
Saturday Night Live tip.
No, it's not. It's S and an N and an L, all capitals, so it's Snow. You gotta yell it. He worked on Snow. Fucking hit it.
A very Chipperson Thanksgiving continues on the Opie Anthony channel.
Segment 5. Colin Quinn line, Tom Papa. Tom Papa's in studio. And we talk about Colin Quinn making news headlines or something. Because he was twittering that Walter Ferrell was stealing all of his material? I don't know, maybe he was knitting sweaters or something. I don't fucking know. The guys are going to review Colin's ridiculous comments on Twitter. And Colin calls up on the telephone or something and gives his reaction to all the news coverage. And I guess that Walter Ferrell was doing something about the tweets and Colin was on Twitter or something. And then Tom Papa came. Segment 5, here it is.
A very Chipperson Thanksgiving continues.
Segment 06. Bobby Lee. He's kind of like Bruce Lee. You know. My mother would always say, Chipper, don't hang out with the you-know-what, and she'd make the eyes slanted with her fingers. I'd go, I know what you mean, Ma, hear loud and clear. She would like, don't ever trust them, Chipper. Don't ever trust them. They'll steal your linens. Bobby Lee's in studio, and he starts to have a panic attack. I don't know what the fuck that is. Oh, yeah, he thought the console was... This is at the old XM studios. He thought the console was moving. And I'm like, why wouldn't the console be happy where it lives now? He thought the studio was shaking. I'm like, I didn't even know the studio had hands. And then he claimed to see an imaginary rabbit walking around waving at him. I remember one time my Uncle Paul asked me if I wanted to see a rabbit, and he pulled out his pants pockets, and he said, "Come on, Lyle, give the rabbit a kiss on his nose." So I closed my eyes, and then the rabbit spit in my mouth.
A very Chipperson Thanksgiving continues on the Opie and Anthony channel.
Welcome back. It's a Chipperson Thanksgiving. We're just sitting here eating stuffing and turkey and cranberry sauce. I used to hate cranberry sauce. I'd say, "Ma, they look like scabs." He'd say, "Shut up and eat it, Chipper. I'm going to go into the other room with the guys and talk about things." So I'd sit there and eat cranberry sauce out of my hand. This is segment 7. Stephen White. We talked to Stephen White about his long and amazing career in comedy, his roles in movies, and his bizarre encounters with celebrities. He talks real slow. I don't like him. I like faster jokes. Fucking boom. But he talks real slow. I don't fucking get it. He's like, yeah, it's a small world, but I wouldn't want to paint it. I'm like, I don't fucking get that. That doesn't make no sense.
A very Chipperson Thanksgiving continues.
Segment 8. It's a Chip Chipperson Thanksgiving extravaganza celebration. This is about Rich and his wife, Bonnie. Rich's ignorance in technology and social media. He gives out his Facebook password like a stupid cocksucker. He's fucking dumb. His account gets hacked, and then his Twitter and his email got hacked because they had the same password. What a stupid fucking cocksucker he is. My password's 1234. My mother said, keep it a simple one, Chipper, because you forget a lot of things. Bonnie's on the phone or something, and she's unfazed with her husband is that stupid. I guess she knows he's a fucking dumb cocksucker. I hate Rich. He's got little fucking turtle hands. And my mother said, don't trust him because he's a Jewy kikeburger, Chipper. I said, what's the matter, Ma? She goes, you never trust Jewy kikeburgers. If you roll a penny down the street, they'll all run out for a Chipper. Don't ever trust them. I was like, all right.
A very Chipperson Thanksgiving continues. Here's your host, Lyle Chip Chipperson.
Segment 09 dash. This is Patrice O'Neill and Louis. Patrice and Louis discuss the existence of the Illuminations controlling the world and our lives and something. I like Patrice. He reminded me of like at least 8 of my mother's friends. He was a really big, loud black guy, and he would always go, shut up, Chipper. And that's what they would yell from inside the other room. I would start knocking, going, Ma, what are you doing in there? And I would hear, shut up, Chipper. I would have to go outside and stand in the juniper bushes. So here's Patrice and Louis.
A very Chipperson Thanksgiving continues on the Opie and Anthony channel.
I don't want to say this. This is segment 10. Kevin the Pollock. Kevin Pollock talks about his encounters with other celebrities that he does impersonations of. Like Christopher Walken and Jack Nicholson. But he don't do good impersonations. I do them better. Kevin Pollock don't do good ones. I do like a really good Walken. Oh, it's Chip Chipperson on Thanksgiving or something. Oh, what are you, a turkey? Oh. That's a good one, right? And I would do Jack Nicholson on Thanksgiving. Here's turkey. Here's Kevin Pollock.
When the top comics on the planet aren't on stage,
just another sign of the absolute disintegration and decay of this country.
They can be found hanging out on the Opie and Anthony show.
This show got me in trouble. Of course it did.
This holiday weekend, we're proud to present their most memorable appearances.
I took his hand and put it.
Oh my God!
And bringing it all to you is a man of razor-sharp wit. A man who knows funny. His mother says so.
Double guns, motherfucker.
This is a very Chipperson Thanksgiving.
What's that?
Here's your host, Lyle Chip Chipperson.
It's day 2. It's a Chipperson Thanksgiving celebration. We're playing a bunch of appearances by comedians on the Opie and Anthony radio show, not counting myself. Because everybody says that like my comedy's the best and stuff. And that like I always come up with the good jokes. But, you know, there's some other guys had some good ones, too. Like, this is Jim Jefferson. Jim Jefferson reveals he's afraid of bananas. So, of course, we have to find out why. I was never scared of bananas. I remember one time I heard my mother yelling from the other room, "Oh, Lamar, stick your big banana deep." So I guess they was in there having daiquiris or something. I don't know.
A very Chipperson Thanksgiving continues.
George Carlin. This is the last appearance of George on the show. I didn't think he was very funny. I didn't get his stuff at all. I didn't like that. The 7 dirty words. I say them all the time. Shit, cocksucker, piss. We were talking about, I guess, his 50 years of doing comedy and his radio and stuff and free speech. And he talked about his HBO special. And he said something about, like, Chipper, I think that you're the guy that should carry the torch or something with comedy. I don't know.
A very Chipperson Thanksgiving continues on the Opie and Anthony channel.
Hey, it's segment 3 here on a Chipperson Thanksgiving. This is Ricky Gervais. He's also joined by Louis, J. Ma, and Ron Bennington. Louis and Ricky are going to talk about doing an HBO special with Jerry Seinfeld and Chris Rock. And they talk about Ricky doing his show, Idiot Abroad. I didn't understand that. I don't like British humor. It's too weird up. It's too snooty. Oh, let's have some tea and crumpets or something. I never liked that. My mother used to watch Martin Lawrence. She'd sit there with a giant kielbasa, and she'd put her legs up on the ottoman. Say, now get out of the room, Chipper. I'm going to watch You So Crazy by Martin Lawrence. She's a wonderful woman.
A very Chipperson Thanksgiving continues. Here's your host, Lyle Chip Chipperson.
This is segment 4. Stephen Merchant. Stephen talks about restarting his stand-up career years after comedy writing. He's doing his first tour of The Us. Jim and Stephen compare notes about starting out and how comedy progresses. It sounds like a very mature discussion. I don't really go for the British humor. It's too snooty and up in the air. Oh, let's have some tea or something. And maybe some crumpets too, Chipper. I like really good jokes. Like if someone's talking and you put your head in the room and go and make fucking fart sounds.
A very Chipperson Thanksgiving continues on the Opie and Anthony channel.
This is what Ron White came on the show. And the guy was talking about Ron's comedy and stuff through Blue Collar. That's funny stuff. I like that. You might be a redneck if me and my mother would try to guess what he was going to say next. He would say, you might be a redneck if, and I would say something like, you got a bunch of weeds in the yard or something, right, Ma? She would fucking crack up. So Ron was there, and he was talking about being a major star. And he shares some stories about Jeff Foxworthy and Bill Engvall. My mother likes Bill Engvall because she said, Lyle, that's a man that don't need to use dirty language to be funny. And there's some stories about the tour bus. My mother one time went on Master P's tour bus. She was there for 6 hours. She said, Chipper, wait outside. I'm going to go tell Master P and his friends how good the concert was. And she limped off the tour bus like 6 hours later. And she had a bunch of mayonnaise on her cankles. She said, Chipper, they're very nice young men. Now drive me home.
A very Chipperson Thanksgiving continues.
This is segment 6. Fucking Dane Cook and fucking Bill Burr and fucking Bob Kelly. All these fucking guys from Boston. Fucking Bob Kelly's a fucking cocksucker. Yeah, you know what, dude? Fuck you, cocksucker. This was one of the rare occasions where Dane come in the studio. He's usually too hoity-toity. He's on the fucking phone or something. And Bill Burr, what is he, cold or something? That's what I always call him. I go, hey, it's Bill Burr! Burr! And I fucking stand there and shake for like 5 minutes. Everybody cracks up. And fucking Bob Kelly. They're all in studio. And they talk about how they came up in comedy together. I don't give a fuck. Who cares? Hey, remember that time that I told that joke? Fuck you, cocksucker.
A very Chipperson Thanksgiving continues on the Opie and Anthony channel.
This is segment 07. This is with Jim Brewer and Dennis Leary. Dennis Leary was talking, and Jim Brewer just came or something, and they were talking about doing comedy in the past. And Jim's got a documentary on his father about military veterans and how old people think. I don't know my father. He's been away for a long time. He sells encyclopedias. My mother would always say, Chipper, your father called, but you wasn't home. And she said that all those guys that come over are my father's friends and they're helping fix the house. My father didn't have any white friends.
A very Chipperson Thanksgiving continues. Here's your host, Lyle Chip Chipperson.
This is segment 8, Jay Moore. He does the second best impression. I do a good Harvey Keitels too. The arrow strawberry's gonna hit the ball or something. And he's talking about doing Clint Eastwood. I do a good Clint Eastwood. Yeah, punk, make my day or something. This is a Chipperson Thanksgiving, and I hope everybody enjoyed it. Go have some turkey or something. My mother would always say, now, Chipper, we're going to make a wish after, so don't put the wishbone in your hiney. Hey, happy Thanksgiving. Fucking turkey, cocksucker.
And so, a very Chipperson Thanksgiving draws to a close. Listen for more throughout the weekend. And happy holidays from the Opie and Anthony channel.